What are we doing here?
We're doing a bonus.
I like bonuses.
Lagavulin, rum cake, good company, and cocktails.
And the Godfather.
The Godfather.
Hey. Bonus round.
Bonus. Some cocktails were meant to be stirred, not shaken, because you don't want to disturb the spirits.
No, sir.
This is one of them. It's called,
The Godfather.
and it's going to be delicious. The Godfather.
2 ingredients.
2 ingredients, easy peasy, pumpkin peasy.
And Ms. Katie
Oh, she's a saint. Look at this.
made us a nice little rum cake.
Got some rum cake.
French apple rum cake.
Got some caramel. Got some cinnamon. Some Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Man, it's like a sore dick.
It can't beat this.
Mm-mm. So here we are again. We have our cocktails. We have our tasty little treats. Thank you one more again, Miss Katie. And walk us through what we're looking at here. What do we got here?
This is the Godfather cocktail. Mm-hmm. It has to be the simplest cocktail of all times. Mm-hmm. 2 ingredients. You have a scotch. We chose the Lagavulin 16. A nice, hearty, peaty, smoky scotch. Mm-hmm. And amaretto. So you have a little bit of a almondy sweetness that we've introduced to that smoky, peaty scotch.
Yeah, any cocktail that we've added amaretto to, it's been really good.
And then I did a large orange swath that I twisted for a garnish. I wiped the rim of it, and we're good to go.
And then we have the treats here.
Yeah.
Not only is it the rum cake, there's a little bit of powdered sugar on there.
Miss Katie made a
drizzle of caramel.
I forget what she called it, but it's a French apple rum cake.
Yeah.
So it's got some pieces of apple, green Granny Smith apples in there, and then I drizzle it with caramel. Put the Ready Whip on top, and then dusted it with a little bit of
Ready
cinnamon.
Whip.
Cool Whip.
For Cool Whip.
Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
Say
sir.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
So, but first things first.
Yeah.
After you give me my cake.
Right. First things first after I'm whatever.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentles.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that's good.
That's really good.
I mean, how can you be mad at that?
Oh.
The amaretto, or that almond amaretto,
Yeah.
really gives it a nice, subtle sweetness that...
It's a great companion to that smokiness.
Thank you, sir. That's really delicious.
That is really good.
Off camera, one of the things I talked about as I've been eyeballing this cocktail for a long time, and have wanted to introduce this with a Scotch night, and I thought this made the perfect opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
As I started researching this cocktail, I found a very wide range of ingredient ratios. You know, everything is Scotch and amaretto, but I found everything from 1.5 ounces of Scotch and 1/4 ounce of amaretto to 2 ounces of Scotch, 2 ounces of amaretto, and everything in between. And so I ended up landing on 2 ounces of Scotch, 1 ounce of amaretto. Let's split the difference, do 2 to 1, and call it good.
I think much more amaretto would be too sweet.
And that's really why I decided let's go happy medium.
Yeah.
Because the half and half, the 1 part to 1 part mixture seemed like, yes, we're using a very smoky Scotch, but too
Not
much
the smokiest, but
too much sweetness though is going to very quickly tip the scale.
yeah, take it the wrong way in a hurry.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is balanced out pretty well.
2 to 1 sounded right to me, and I think that was the right choice.
I like my cocktails sweet and my whiskey neat.
I see what you did there.
Should write that down.
Yeah. I wish you could write.
Girl, same. All right, let's get into this bad boy. See what's what. Do you know any writers? Maybe I can sell that.
Nah.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Wow, Katie.
Yo,
What in the actual fuck?
this fucks.
This fuck's hard.
This fucks hard. I'm not a dessert guy, but this is amazing.
Clearly, I am.
Damn. With this, that's wild.
Yeah, that's a good marriage right there.
Yeah, because like the
man.
citrus of the apple with, I mean, this is, I've never had this and been this impressed.
And there's rum in there somewhere. So you said, or was it Katie that said after she ate the rum cake, 30 minutes later, she's like, how much rum did I put in that thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. At first she's like, she's like, oh, there's no rum in that, and then she's like, oh, maybe there is a little bit of rum in
Oh,
that.
it's
the
so
rum cooked out.
good.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, it depends on how it's prepared, because like a traditional like rum cake, you cook the cake with some rum in there, but then after you're pulling it out of the oven, you're also
Hitting it again.
Oh, like a
Yeah.
poke cake? Like you poke the...
You're drinking it while you're making it.
Yeah, that's how I cook.
or when you don't, because the butt pan's upside down.
Mm-hmm.
So typically after you right side it up, you remove the pan and you're about to serve it, you then drizzle some more rum on top of it.
Or do like a reduction.
Rum reduction.
Yeah, that would be really good. Man.
Caramel drizzle. This is stupid good, dude.
Yeah,
The apple is the start of that.
it really is. And it's like
I love that little bit of the crunches that you get in the apples from bite to bite.
Little bits of crispiness of the cake itself.
But
on the crust.
that sourness that you get on a Granny Smith green apple kind of comes through, and it balances with the rest of the sweetness.
This is a solid combo. Man.
And it was a solid combo with the Lagavulin and the amaretto in this one here.
Yeah.
When you put it in the glass, you stirred it till it chilled.
This is an amaretto that I have not had before. Walcher. Organic amaretto.
Organic.
Is it an Italian amaretto?
It grew in a field.
Yes, I do believe it is.
Well, it should be if it's in a Godfather. Yes. That's really good.
And the way we like our cocktails, we talked about this before, off camera and on camera, plenty of times, that we like the spirit of choice to shine, to take center stage. We want the spirit to be the star of the show. And this one here, it does. But it's kind of like a co-headliner. I mean, they complement each other very well. Very well. And I can see, like, tasting this, I can see why there's so many different variants with the Scotch versus amaretto. Like,
depending on your Scotch,
absolutely play with this recipe and tailor it to your own palate. Me, I got a mouthful of sweet teeth. You know, I'm very happy with this. You know, if it were sweeter, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be on it. You know, but there are those that really aren't into sweets.
Yeah,
like them as a treat from time to time.
I think if you want it sweeter and balanced, you'd go with a Dalmore.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a sweeter. I think it's a more malt forward Scotch. This is really great because for a guy, I'm not into sweets, and I'm not into, like, you can ask my wife. I don't do sweet cocktails or anything. I would drink, like, sometimes an old fashioned is too sweet for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it was much easier to make than an old fashioned. You guys saw it on the video.
When I was looking at and kind of comparing all the different recipes, I settled on a 2-to-1. One, because I knew the Scotch that I was going to use for this cocktail. But two, I wanted enough of the amaretto to be present and show up.
Yeah, and it did for sure.
But I wanted to make sure it did not overshine.
You kind of gambled. I mean, you gambled and won because you used, well, not point forks at the people. And you gambled and you won because you like you said, you hadn't tried this. Oh, I'm gonna lose. It's like dating a Latino. I'm gonna get stabbed. If you know, you know. So, yeah, you gambled and you won because you used an amaretto that you had never used before, and you tried it. You liked it. We liked it. It could have gone very bad, but it did not.
Yeah, amaretto's hit or miss for me. Like, having things that have amaretto in it, this is really good. I think it's because I'm a sucker for Scotch, and you used kind of my weakness, and now I'm into this. You can lure me anywhere with a bottle of Lagavulin.
I think
I'm that way with pumpkin spice and crab ragout.
I think the almond,
Not at the same time.
the amaretto almond flavors, though, they work really well with
The smokiness.
not just this Scotch, but I mean, I think Scotch in general. I think the almond probably pairs really well with most Scotches.
Yeah.
The 2-to-1, I think was a good call for this specific Scotch.
Yeah.
Was the Lagavulin the one that had an almond note in it?
I think that Aberlour had more.
Aberlour had it?
I think Aberlour had more, which I think would be a really good pairing with this. If you're not into that smokiness. But this one, I mean, I think Lagavulin got one of our highest ratings.
Yeah.
So I think
if we would have used the Aberlour, I think probably more of a half ounce, 3/4 of the amaretto probably would have been
it was a
little bit
Lagavulin.
better.
It was on the nose.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was on the nose. Briny, peaty and sweet, fruity, wine, dark fruit,
Almond.
Band-Aid, medicinal, kind of thing. It wasn't overpowering like some can be. Some scotches can be, and almond and vanilla. So, good choice.
Delicious.
The more you know.
It's delicious.
What a nightcap.
Oh, the night's not over yet, sir.
Oh, there's
Oh.
But wait, there's more. You're gonna love my nuts. If you know, you know. I'm not. It's the whole thing.
I'm getting smoky, unbathed.
A little piquant of Famunda. It's a specialty cheese.
Is that
nobody
paprika?
likes.
Fermented?
It's that paprika. Blech. Blech.
I think the star of the show was Katie
That
Drum
cake.
Cake.
That was
Phenomenal. During the Z2 album with Devil Wears Prada, I brought my whiskey collection out, and then the owner of the studio I was at brought some stuff. And so the guitar player and the drummer and I decided to do what we called the $20,000 pour, which was just a little bit of all these scotches. We took the retail prices and we made a shot of it.
okay.
And we all took a drink of it.
It's an infinity shot.
Yeah, it's an infinity shot. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
There was no method to the madness.
But it was the $20,000 shot. It was terrible.
That sounds awful.
And Giuseppe's a Scotch. He's a whiskey man, and man, we would nerd out. But like, we both looked at each other like,
Giuseppe's a cool name. Like, it's Pinocchio's dad, but still, it's like it's a cool name.
one of the best drummers I know. But
Yeah?
yeah, he's insane. Yeah, he's crazy.
What drummer isn't insane? They're all.
Well, I mean,
Do you know any other drummers local that would
Yeah.
be interested in a metal band?
Yeah, named into existence. We lost our drummer Eddie. He decided he was gonna quit. He had had enough, and
like, did he die? I was like,
No, he
Okay.
didn't die.
Oh, good.
And, I mean, he's been hit by a truck, and
There's a guy that thinks Dewar's is high-end Scotch, and when he goes out and he drinks, I'm drinking Scotch. That's a high-end Scotch, and that's great. Like, there's nothing wrong with
you
that.
like it.
I'm not here to yuck anybody's yums. If that's where you're
that's a
at,
good way to put it.
I mean, if you like it,
Like
you
what
like
you
it.
like.
Exactly.
Dig what you dig.
But as you get further into that and you push past that, it's all relative. And then you start realizing, wow, there's this whole other world. And the term hipster and stuff comes out in worlds where you're like, oh, I'm too cool for this. I try not to do that
I was a fan
myself.
of that years before anybody knew about it.
Exactly. It's like none of that matters when you just can appreciate. And at the end, it's an art. Creating that is art. It's with flavor. It's with sense. It's with time. It's much like painting. It's much like music. And those guys are artists. And I think
They are.
there are
With a
people
completely different palette.
totally different palette. And I think there's tourists, and I think that there's artisans. And there's a big gap in that world. And I think the people up here cannot judge the person down here, and the person down here has no right to talk about the person up there. We are a community,
That's
regardless.
a great way to put that.
Yeah.
That's a really,
Yeah.
really great way to, so bring it back to our dichotomy. When we started this off, I had zero love for Jim Beam.
Yeah. I had all the love for it.
And you had all the love
Because
for
one,
it.
it's whiskey. I love whiskey. Two, it had like some apple. It had some citrus. It had
Right.
caramel. It had
Yeah.
the oakiness. What fucking more do you want?
Yeah. White Label is still nowhere near
No, it's not.
my palate. But
Not mine anymore either.
I have a very serious love for Jim Beam these days.
Yeah.
Because
Because of the product line.
Bookers, because of Little Book, because of Lineage.
Yeah, and you the first one I think you really liked was that
the
double oak.
black. Yeah,
Black,
the double oak and the
you're
black.
right. You're right. It was the black that opened both of our eyes to
Yep.
what Jim Beam actually is, like what they could be.
In your words, you push through
Yeah,
to find other things, and all of a sudden you realize, Jim Beam knows what the fuck they're doing.
yeah. It went from to
You just have to get past what they're selling to the masses and get to some of the things that they themselves are actually more passionate about and putting more care into.
Yeah.
You're not paying
Care into the
$18 a bottle for anymore, but you're also getting a better product.
Well, you also have to realize we're not the guys that keep them in business.
Right.
We're not the guys that keep them in business. The person that keeps them in business is the baseline, run-of-the-mill, Jim Beam, Evan Williams, Jack Daniels, the baseline products. They keep them in business. We're the ones that appreciate the art they're allowed to do because there's another guy out there that does not care about any of this shit. And they're just as important to this as we are and as they are. So like you look at it.
There's a lot more of them.
And
a lot more of them.
Welcome to the party.
Like for our New Year's Eve bonus episode, we did our top 5 of the year, and that included Weller's 12-year.
Great.
It included Little Book, Chapter 8, Path Not Taken.
Path Not Taken.
Little Book, The Infinite.
Oh, yeah.
Which was their infinity barrel that 3 generations.
Jesus.
3 generations of Bookers.
Booker No, Frederick No, and Freddie No. 3 generations.
Wow.
And then it was Michter's 10-year rye and Michter's 10-year bourbon.
Wow.
That was our top 5 roundup for the year. But as we kind of started talking through
Those are going to be tough to beat in 2025.
Those are going to be really hard to beat this next year. But, it's as we got into it and we really kind of started exploring those, that's when I feel we started to appreciate the art form of the master distillers. Specifically that Little Book, The Infinite. Little Book is an annual release. That always comes out springtime. Freddie No is the son of Frederick No, son of Booker No.
All master distillers.
When Booker No started the Booker line, Freddie was his grandson running around the distillery and was nicknamed Little Book, which is where the name of his expression came from. So when he came up and was allowed to have his own line of things, Little Book became the annual expression.
And they just let him do it.
They did. So this last summer when we were in Louisville, we stopped at Jim Beam. I got the lineage. It was Father's Day weekend. Katie's like, would you be mad or would it be bad if I just, instead of getting you a Father's Day present, I just told you I will buy you a high-end bottle of bourbon at one of the distillers we go at.
Oh, no.
And so I'm like, nope, that sounds pretty damn good to me.
I think I'm okay with that.
So my Father's Day gift from that trip was the Little Book, Chapter 8, Path Not Taken.
Awesome.
That bottle is a crap ton of high
rise,
high year straight rye whiskeys, and then it's finished off with like a 14-year straight bourbon. So it's got a little bit of a bourbon sweetness, but just all this amazing rye flavors to it. Anyway, all that to say, Little Book is an annual release. I had the 2024 annual release.
First.
And then August rolls around, and there's all these posts that I'm seeing of the new Little Book release. I'm like, what the fuck?
They just released one.
I have that already. And then when I dug into that,
The Infinite.
It was called The Infinite. I was like, okay, first off, that's a very different looking box.
That's a whole different thing.
What is this? I dug in and looking a little bit farther.
Family history.
The Infinite release was an infinity barrel program they decided to do.
That Booker started.
that includes a barrel or however many that Booker passed away in February 2004.
Yeah.
Before he passed away in 2004, he put some bourbons in a barrel. This infinity barrel includes his barrels right before he passed away.
That's insane.
It includes barrels that Frederick, his son, put together, and barrels that Freddie, the grandson, put together. So you got 3 generations of master distillers all have contributed to this blended infinity barrel. And this is release 1. They are going to also release this every summer as part of the... So
That's
Little Book
crazy.
now is going to have 2 releases a year because of this. But the Infinite
add to it. They're going to pull out of it, add to it.
is going to be this rotating infinity barrel where they're going to take a little bit from it, add something else to it, put a little bit something to it, add something to it, and just bottle
It's super
a little
exclusive.
bit, very exclusive. It's also it's a $200 bottle, so
It's great.
but once I realized what that was, I was like, I have to get that bottle.
Have to.
And so I started looking for it, and I actually drove to 2 or 3 places to get, and was literally 10 minutes late getting the last one. And then I saw a post that's like, hey, the 150 Lee Summit Price Chopper has a couple on the shelf, and my son lives in Lee Summit. I'm like, if you're not doing anything, could you please drive out to the 150 and 291 highway Price Chopper and see if they have it? And then he drives out there. And he's like, yeah, they have 2 on the shelf. I'm like, can I give you money next time I send you, or Venmo you something?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have Venmo, and I don't know if I have enough in my account right now. And I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like, okay, it's fine. I got off the phone and I relay this story. This is a Friday night.
Yeah.
You should have called me.
So better yet. So I get off the phone. I relay the story to Katie. She's like, "You're jumping in the truck and going. I got Henry. It's fine." And I'm like, you know what? Do you know how long it's going to take
It's a
me
long drive from here.
to get me to Lisa? And she's like, "Do you know how upset with yourself you're going to be
If you don't try.
not knowing that you didn't try to get it?" And I was like, okay. So I jumped in the truck. I did not do the speed
He did
limit.
not break the speed limit. He's a
I
law
did.
Legal speed limit.
Not did.
Your interpretation.
Right.
We're not legal here.
Right.
I showed up and they had 1 left on the shelf. They also had the Baker 7 High Rye limited release that had just come out. That bottle was also part of the
spill.
the
tragedy.
But the next day when we were out and about, we stopped at the liquor store and they had that bottle, and Katie bought it as a Christmas gift because she's like, I haven't bought you anything for Christmas yet, so if you want me to get a couple bottles to replace this, I will do it. And so we stopped at a place. She went in there looking for one of my other bottles that they did not have, but they had the Baker High Rye, the Baker 7 High Rye bourbon, which I was floored. I'm like, that's another one. It's gone. I'm not gonna be able to get that one again. They're like, nope. We found one. Literally, the Justin's right around the corner, by the Hy-Vee gas station, and so got that replaced.
Yep.
But yeah, I hightailed it out to Lisa, and I ended up getting both of those bottles. And we actually ended up doing the tasting of that literally like the week before. I think it was the week before we had scheduled to do our top 5 of the year.
Oh, wow.
And that bottle actually snuck into the top 5, and it didn't sneak into the top 5. It became the number 3 bottle.
Wow.
So
Wedged its way past a couple of bookers. Way past Jim Beam White Label.
it smoked out some really. It smoked out the 15-year lineage.
Yeah. The only things it didn't touch was the 10-year bourbons or 10-year bourbon and 10-year rye from Michter's.
Yep. Yeah.
That's wild.
So anyway, yeah.
By like a 16th of a point or something.
Yeah.
Like by a quarter point, maybe.
Our
an eighth of a point.
our top 5 of the year was all less than half a point.
Damn.
We had 2 perfect 10s, and then we had like a 9 7/8, 9 and 5/8, and then a 9.5.
Oh, jeez.
And maybe through the course of this podcast, we'll have to revise that because I mean, how many 10s are we going to find? You know, through the years, hopefully that this lasts. And what are we going to do with our top 5 when we have 8 10s?
Yeah.
You revise the scoring system.
Revise it.
You go.
Yeah.
You go to 7.
Something will have to be revisited and revised.
Yep.
So, definitely.
And maybe periodically we need to revisit those upper ones and reevaluate.
Was this really as good as
was
we
this
thought it
really
was?
a 10? I don't know.
Hey, you're just taking in more information
Yep.
and coming up with a better image of your opinion.
Yeah.
And it's your opinion.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Your specific palate.
Yep.
If you think I'm an idiot, then don't drink Lagavulin.
Send your hate mail to info@savortheburn.com. Send your hate mail to me. Your hate mail to me. And my stupid opinions and my mush mouth and my flubs of the English vocabulary to Jonathan@savortheburn.com.
Or better yet, send it to Josh at savortheburn.com.
Yeah.
I don't think that exists, but hey, send it anyway.
Anyways,
And if you don't like Lagavulin, fuck you.
no, you heard it here first, folks. And if you do, send all your love emails to Mr. W. Well, just send it to W2@savortheburn.com.
All the love.
Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us for this bonus episode of Savor the Burn. We had a good time. We had a great piece of cake. Had a wonderful cocktail.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Thank you, Miss Katie, for all you do every single time. And one more again, thank you, Josh, for coming by and hanging out with us.
Thanks, brothers.
And sharing your stories and sharing your whiskey with us. We had a great time. We had a great time having you here with us. And stay tuned because there's more to come. One more to come with Mr. Josh.
Let's do it.
So no matter who you are, where you are, what you're drinking, and who you're drinking it with, never forget,
Keep on burning.
burning.
we saw that.
I know.
Play it off.